When Onome first met Kunle, it was at a friend's wedding in Abuja. He stood by the bar in a crisp navy suit. His smile, effortlessly charming. His laughter, warm and inviting. Every word he spoke seemed soaked in intelligence and subtle elegance. He wasn't loud, but he had a presence that drew people in like moths to a flame. And when he looked at Onome, it felt like she was the only person in the world. Within 6 months, they were married. Kunle was the kind of man every woman dreamed of: attentive, respectful, gentle, and ambitious. A civil engineer with his own firm, he provided comfort and stability. The wedding was extravagant, complete with fireworks that painted the sky over Maitama. Onome, just 24, and freshly done with her master's in sociology, thought she had hit the jackpot. But soon, things began to unravel in ways she couldn't explain. The first few weeks of marriage were quiet. There were no passionate nights. Kunle always seemed tired or stressed or not in the mood. Onome tried to be understanding. After all, adjusting to married life could take time. But weeks turned into months, and the distance between them grew wider. He was affectionate, yes. He cooked sometimes, bought her flowers, and took her out to dinner. But every time she reached out intimately, he would pull away. She began to doubt herself. Was she unattractive? Was she doing something wrong? But then, things began to feel off. Strange calls late at night, a password change on his phone, frequent out of town trips, always to Lagos or Port Harcourt, always with vague explanations. Once, she heard him on the phone, laughing in a way she hadn't heard in months. When she asked who it was, he simply said, "Work stuff." It all changed the day she found the red scarf. She was cleaning out the guest room, Kunle's supposed home office, when she noticed the suitcase tucked behind the bookshelf. Out of curiosity, she opened it. Inside were designer clothes she had never seen him wear, a gold chain, a bottle of expensive cologne she never smelled on him, and nestled on top, like a crown on the liar's head, was a silky red scarf. It smelled faintly of perfume, men's perfume. Her heart pounded. Something was wrong, very wrong. She didn't confront him immediately. Instead, she began to watch him closely. His body language, the tension in his jaw when she asked too many questions, the way he lit up when chatting on WhatsApp, then dimmed the moment she entered the room. So one night, she followed him. He said he was going to a client's event at a new hotel in Wuse. Onome waited 5 minutes, grabbed her shawl, and took a cab. When she got there, she walked from across the lobby as Kunle entered the lounge and embraced the man. Not a handshake, not a friendly hug, a lover's touch. Onome felt the ground open up and beneath her. Her husband was gay. But why marry her? Was it pressure from society? From his family? She was angry. She was sad. She cried loudly in the bedroom. The next few days were a blur of anxiety. Kunle's behavior shifted. He was suddenly kinder, more affectionate. He even brought home a gift, a new phone. But she knew something was wrong. She heard him talking on the phone one night, whispering, "She suspects. I think we have to handle it. I won't let her destroy this." What did that mean? Who was we? She knew she had to act fast, so she did something dangerous. She broke into his laptop. What she found made her blood run cold. Emails between him and another man, his partner. Discussions of a hidden bank account, a visa application to Canada, plans to disappear. And her name was mentioned. She can't know. If she talks, we could lose everything. Onome printed the emails and hid them in a shoebox beneath her old thesis notes in the study. Every instinct screamed at her to run, to leave the house, call someone, go to the police. But what would she say? That her husband was gay? That he was planning something shady? What if no one believed her? Then came the envelope. It was waiting on her side of the bed when she got home from a quick visit to her mother. A plain black envelope with her name scrawled in Kunle's careful handwriting. Inside was a single sheet of paper. I know what you have been doing. We need to talk tonight. 10 p.m. No games. Her hands trembled. The clock read 8:45. She called her best friend Yinka, but it was not connecting. She considered running to a neighbor, but what would she say? Kunle was powerful, charming. No one would suspect him of anything sinister. So she waited, alone, heart thundering. At exactly 10 p.m., the bedroom door creaked open. He walked in calmly, as if he were about to have a dinner date, a glass of wine in one hand, a folder in the other. I want to be honest with you, he said softly. Now? She snapped. Now, after everything. I didn't want this life. I was forced into it. My father, his expectations, he made it clear. No son of his would be gay. He threatened to cut me off, so I did what I had to do. I married. I chose you because you were smart, discreet, obedient. Onome's eyes narrowed. Obedient. He smirked. But you have proven to be difficult. Then he dropped the folder on the bed. Inside were photos of her, in her office, at her university, at home, some taken from angles that made it clear they were being watched, followed. I thought we could keep this clean, quiet, he continued. But if you expose me, you destroy both of us. So, here's what we will do. You stay married to me for 1 more year. After that, I will release you quietly. You will get your freedom. I will get my visa. Onome stared at him in disbelief. You are blackmailing your own wife? Kunle's eyes turned cold. No, I am saving my life and protecting yours. She played along, smiled when he smiled, cooked, slept beside him, became the perfect puppet in his stage play of normalcy. But inside, she was burning. She needed help, but not just any help. Someone who could fight dirty. Someone who knew how to bring men like Kunle down. She contacted her cousin Osas, an ex-journalist, now running a private investigative blog. She told him everything and gave him copies of the emails and photos. I smell something more than just a closeted husband, he said. This man is planning something big. Osas dug deep. What he found was more than she imagined. Kunle wasn't just hiding his sexuality. He was part of a money laundering ring. His business trips were meetings with partners laundering stolen government contracts through real estate and offshore accounts. And worse, there was a woman before Onome. married, vanished without a trace. Osas tracked her name down, Ngozi Ume. She was Kunle's first wife, married under a false identity in Port Harcourt. After 2 years, she had gone missing. Her family thought she had run away. The police dropped the case due to lack of evidence. Onome could not breathe. Was that to be her fate? She knew she had to act fast. She asked Osas to leak a fake article to test Kunle. The headline: Whistleblower exposes hidden life of Abuja businessman. No names, just breadcrumbs. The next day, Kunle was in a frenzy. He cancelled meetings, burned papers in the fireplace. He even tried to access Onome's laptop, but she had changed the password. Then, that night, he sat across her at dinner and asked the most chilling question yet. Are you ready to disappear too, Onome? Onome didn't sleep that night. The moment Kunle uttered those words, her soul froze. He said it casually, like he was talking about tea. But the glint in his eyes wasn't casual. It was a warning, a threat. She now knew this man could kill. By morning, she had a plan. She went to Osas, his office near Jabi, a cramped space filled with files, cameras, and USB drives. I need to vanish, she said plainly, but on my terms. Together, they crafted disappearance file, a package of all evidence they had, ready to be leaked to the media. The FCC and three major international blogs. It would go out if anything happened to Onome. All Osas needed was a trigger. Give me a signal, he said. Anything. A phrase, a message, something I recognize as your distress call. Onome thought for a second, then whispered, The wardrobe has eyes. Osas raised a brow, half amused, half impressed. Creepy. I like it. Onome returned home, pretending nothing had changed. But now, she was on high alert. Her every step was measured, every conversation with Kunle laced with double meanings. She began recording him softly. She planted a tiny camera in their bedroom. She called it the Eye. That night, Kunle got a call. He left the room to take it, but the conversation carried through the thin paper walls. She heard one line that made her blood run cold. She's a liability. I will handle it this weekend, Port Harcourt style. She packed the bag, just essentials, USB drives, documents, some cash. But before she could leave, she heard a creak outside the bedroom door. Kunle stood there, holding a glass of red wine. You were going somewhere? He asked, smiling. No, Onome lied. Just reorganizing. He walked in, circling her like a vulture. You have been tense lately. Is there something you want to tell me? Onome's palms sweated. She gave a false smile. Just tired, that's all. He moved closer, leaned in, and whispered, You should rest very well tonight, my love. It might be your last peaceful sleep. That night, she barely breathed. At exactly 2:15 a.m., she texted Osas, The wardrobe has eyes. Then she deleted the message, wiped her phone, and flushed the scene. She slipped the camera card into her shoe and stepped outside. She had one plan: get to Osas' office. He would take her to a safe house in Gwarimpa. But Kunle had anticipated her. He was waiting in the driveway. You know, he said, Ngozi tried to run too, but she didn't get far. Onome backed away slowly. What did you do to her? He sighed, like she was a stubborn child. She made it complicated. I won't let you do the same. From behind his back, he pulled out something, a syringe. She turned and bolted, screamed, ran into the road just as a bikeman zipped by. She jumped in front of him, waving frantically. Help me! Please, drive! The biker hesitated, but then he saw Kunle running towards them. He didn't ask questions. He gunned the throttle. Onome didn't look back. By dawn, the story had broken. The country erupted. High-profile Abuja engineer exposed the secret gay marriage, fraud ring, and disappearance of first wife, complete with screenshots, videos, and the audio from the wardrobe camera. Social media boiled over Kunle's story. Kunle's company was raided, his account frozen. The FCC launched an official investigation. The woman he thought he controlled had undone him in a single night. And the cherry on top, the police found the body buried in a shallow grave at a private property linked to him in Port Harcourt. It was Ngozi. Kunle tried to run, but the law caught up. He was arrested at the airport trying to board a private jet to Ghana. Cuffed, dragged, his perfect life dismantled in 72 hours. After the trial, Kunle was sentenced to 45 years in prison. Fraud, obstruction of justice, involvement in the murder of Ngozi Onome. The media tried to paint him as a tragic victim of societal pressure, but Onome's footage, her voice, her fear, left no doubt about the predator behind the polished smile. Onome didn't just survive, she lived. And the wardrobe, it still had eyes, but now they watched the world in peace.